This episode of Nintendo Expansion Pass is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn how to support Nintendo Pop Like and the Boss Rush Network, head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/Boss Rush Network and see which tier is right for you. Thanks for your continued support. Hello everybody, welcome to Nintendo Expansion Pass here on Boss Rush Network. I'm your host and that's excited ADV. Joining me is the one, the only Bossman himself, Mr. Corey Dirrig. Hello, good sir.
Hello, Edward. How are you doing on this third episode of the evening?
I'm doing good. I got some Chinese food in my stomach. I'm good to go. How about you? How are you doing?
I'm a little tired. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's been a long few years. Few days, few weeks. But I'm hanging in there and trying to get some stuff done before PAX and all that stuff. Which PAX was probably a couple weeks ago at this point for most of the listeners here. So
yes.
But yeah, look, man, just trying to get stuff done so we can all take a week off and have a week to, it's kind of
rest
and take off and figure it out.
Yes. Well, Corey, I have a topic that is a little bit concerning.
Jeez, this is something that we should have probably prepared for.
Well, it's more of what is Nintendo going to do now? Meaning, we got announcements for Mario Thousand Year Door release date and Luigi's Mansion. So, Mario is coming out May 23rd and for Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, and Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon HD is coming out June 14th. Pretty much, we now know everything that is coming out first party wise from Nintendo Switch. What we don't know is what they're doing for the rest of the year. So after June, pretty much from July till the end of the year, we don't have a clue what Nintendo's going to do. And it's getting kind of concerning because we don't have any updates or announcements of their next console. We don't know if there's more ports or IPs or sequels or what is coming to the Nintendo Switch this year. And, they're getting close to hitting their goal to be for Nintendo Switch to be number one. They got a few still double digit sales that they need to hit. But we don't know if they're gonna achieve it by their next system. It's gonna be very interesting. So I kind of want to ask you, outside of Metroid Prime Remaster, what can Nintendo do for this year? Like, what can they deliver us this year, starting from July until the end of the year?
Well, they could do quite a few things, I think. I think they're going to have a couple smaller titles come out. I think also Pokemon is probably going to carry a load a little bit this fall / early next year. But I also think we're starting to see them bring 3DS games over to the Switch, which is very exciting. And if they're going to start porting things like that, like Samus Returns comes to mind. A Link Between Worlds, I think, is something that we would all enjoy having on the Switch at some point.
I feel like that's coming.
And I think those remasters or remakes or whatever you want to call those games, right? I think a lot of I think Nintendo could support the Switch for a long time on HD remasters of DS, 3DS, GameCube and Wii games. There are so many they could pull from, and so many they will pull from. So I think we're going to see a lot of that type of thing. We know Nintendo wants to release a Zelda product every year on the Switch. They said as much, and there's only 1 year that they didn't, and that's because Tears of the Kingdom got delayed.
Yes.
Right. And so, I fully expect some sort of Zelda product this year, probably September, October timeframe. I think everybody's hoping it's Wind Waker and Twilight Princess that will make their way over. I could see A Link Between Worlds because we have gotten so many 3D Zeldas lately. I think they would maybe put out a 2D top-down ish Zelda to kind of cater to that crowd. I think, man, dude, there's so much they could do. I think you're gonna see a couple new titles though from them, similar to the size of something like Princess Peach Showtime. I don't know what franchises they would be in. I would love to see a 2D Donkey Kong game, honestly, another one. I don't know who you get to do that, I guess, because, obviously Retro is doing Metroid Prime, so who would you get? You could circle Platonic, you could circle, Sumo Digital, maybe. You could circle a bunch of studios that have that in them. I really don't know who you get for that. I would like to see that. I don't think it's happening, for the record. I'm going through this list that I recently made of and I'm looking at franchises that could possibly, come over from Nintendo. We haven't gotten a Mario and Luigi game yet.
Correct.
The only one that hasn't gotten a quote unquote remaster for the next system is Partners in Time, which was the DS game, the first DS game. We could possibly see that, or some sort of collection of the Mario and Luigi games would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Yes. I would love Color Splash to come to Switch. Because
we're getting a Paper Mario this year, though. They're not going to put out 2 in a year.
I know, but man, I still would want it.
And to be honest with you, I kind of just want all the Wii U games to be ported over at this point. Why? Even the ones that have sequels or similar style games like Yoshi's Woolly World, I still think Yoshi's Woolly World is much better than Yoshi's Crafted World, in my opinion. Kirby's Epic Yarn could probably would be awesome to see. Rainbow Curse, although that Rainbow Curse might not work because you need the Wii U gamepad to draw on the console.
Yeah.
I could see. I think the GameCube remasters are not done this year. I don't think the Wii remasters are done this year. I was actually just looking at a copy of The Last Story because I have the collector's edition. I have the collector's edition, and I have everything except for the game, because at one point I moved and I kept a lot of stuff at my parents', and that was a game that I took with me, but I left the collector's edition stuff at my parents', and then, it is what it is. But I think we could. I would love to see that in Pandora's Tower come over. Those are the last Operation Rainfall games from the Wii, right?
I feel like those are partner direct titles that they'll quickly announce and drop, and I'll be like, "Oh, I would give you guys coin for that."
But also something like The Last Story, and something we've actually talked about in terms of the Xbox side of things for Lost Odyssey. How many people want a sequel to Lost Odyssey, which is an awesome JRPG. If you have an Xbox, it's backwards compatible. It's on sale all the time. Please play it. The Last Story also, even though I think Nintendo owns The Last Story and I think Microsoft owns Lost Odyssey, I wonder if it's a situation where Mistwalker has the first right of refusal to have that game re-released in any fashion. Although I do know Mistwalker's, that's a game we might see this year. It's Mistwalker's Fantasian, that mobile game that they said that they are testing on consoles at this point,
Yeah, that
which
that
is like,
would.
man,
I think
so
that's a summer. I think that would be a good summer announcement. And I don't know if it like that game. Did they do like a beta and then release the full game, or they actually released the full game when it
I
came out
don't.
for Apple
I think
Arcade?
they released it in chapters, but I'm not. I really don't know. I really don't know. I I don't know what to tell you there.
Because I think more people are ready to give it a try on Switch if they dropped it.
Yeah, it's part of Apple Arcade. It's like an exclusive for Apple Arcade, so I don't know how that stuff really works, to be honest. Uh, but on top of that, like I don't really know where you go. Do we get a Fire Emblem Fates port like they have been teasing since 2018 ish?
Hmm.
Um, do we get another Warrior style games? I've heard people kind of want a Xenoblade Warriors game, which I don't, but whatever. I
I
mean,
mean,
Xenoblade Chronicles X is the game that I really want, but
yeah. I mean, we still got Professor Layton and Fantasy Life I. Um, we still
yeah,
got that level 5 stuff, but it's just like, man, when are we going to see it though?
yeah. I mean, it's. I'm telling you, it's all going to be ports and smaller games from here on out. I truly think so, and indies, obviously. Uh, but I really don't know what to tell you in terms of games that might make it over. I mean, the Metroid Prime 2 and 3 remasters are easy punts, right? Like I think
Yeah.
that works. What I would love to see is Sega maybe bring some Dreamcast ports over, like Skies of Arcadia, or
Oh,
maybe Jet Set Radio, or although we know all those are kind of in production right now, or I mean, Switch doesn't have a Star Fox game. What
no,
if we got
no.
Star Fox Assault or Star Fox Zero, or um even Adventure, I guess you could do.
Yeah, because we only got 1 and 2 on NSO. That's all we have.
Mhm. Yeah. So I mean, you could see
And
stuff like that.
Starlink.
Yeah. Or I really don't know, except for the fact that I think in my heart of hearts that it's just going to be a bunch of ports, and they're going to be, uh, I think Metroid Prime 2 and 3 are going to be packaged together for sure this
Hmm.
year. Um, Especially if Metroid Prime 4 is coming, they are going to want people to play that entire series. And I think that's to hype up Metroid Prime 4. The easy drop in the bucket is the Metroid Prime 2 and 3 remasters.
Yes.
I think that's really the only, I don't know what you want to call it, easy win for them at this point. And the Zelda games would be easy wins for them. Uh, and honestly, that with like some Pokemon stuff, like I think that might be, Galaxy 2, right? I think Galaxy 2 could be a potential something they could drop, especially if for people who bought Mario 3D All Stars, or
Yeah.
this might be the year where they start selling those separately. You know, they
Oh,
could
that.
totally sell Sunshine and Galaxy separately.
Yeah. And I know people would be like, but they should have did that on Mario on March 10th. I'm like, no. I think
Yeah,
they want to do this for like the longer run. That you could buy these games individually. That they brought them
mhm.
back, and if you want them, bam, you can
Yeah.
get them. You can buy them
Look,
for this price.
look, everybody, you're lucky that Nintendo even acknowledged Mario Day. Okay, like they don't do anniversaries. We've learned that, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the most hilarious thing, right, is that like the Mario 25th anniversary for Wii was literally just a rip of the ROM of Super Mario All Stars plus World, right,
Yeah.
on the disc, and it didn't even have modern, like, the Wii controls on it. It still had the Super Nintendo controller. It still had the Super
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo buttons, Super Nintendo prompts. The entire screen layout was for the Super Nintendo. Like, they don't do anniversaries. Like, I mean, I could see them doing like a 50th anniversary for Mario at some point, or Donkey
Yeah.
Kong, right? I guess Donkey Kong would be your first true 50th. Um, but at the end of the day, you know, Nintendo doesn't do that. And so I could totally see them breaking out Mario All's 3D All Stars and selling Sunshine Galaxy and then Galaxy 2 separately at some point. Would they get physical box copies? That'd be really cool. I'd rather
Oh
have
yeah.
those. I'd rather have those box copies of those than the Mario 3D All Stars, to be perfectly honest with you.
I think yeah, because I think there'll definitely be a limit. Uh, or if they still do the 6 month run, I think people will go out and buy it.
hmm I don't think it would be the 6 month run at this point, though. I think, although that package would be totally worthless too at this point if they did that,
Mm-hmm.
that 3D All Star package. I still can't believe they didn't put Galaxy 2 in that package. Oh my gosh, what a kick in the pants to people. I think people like Galaxy 2 more than 1, I think. Is that the consensus? I don't know. I don't like either of them, but
I know people like Galaxy. I think Galaxy 2 was just more colorful because you get, and plus you was able to ride Yoshi on there. So,
if you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dirrig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network. So, I mean, an easy one also, since Tropical Freeze is already on the Switch, you could do an HD version of Donkey Kong Country Returns, which I think would be an easy win. And if you don't want to port, Fire Emblem Fates over from 3DS, you could totally do a package of Radiant Dawn and Path of Radiance, right? Which is something I would really like to see, maybe.
yeah, I think going through their old Fire Emblem collection being on Switch, that definitely would register. That definitely would hit.
Yeah,
Make good.
I can hear everybody yelling at us right now, but I don't care. No, like everybody, for some reason, remakes and remasters have been an entire discussion that people are just totally against. And I'm like, look, if I can play my old favorite games on the most modern of systems, I'm going to put it on my modern system.
Right.
I mean, look, I even hooked up my Wii U to see if like certain games would like still, function basically after that. They closed the online stuff down, and like I also know if a lot of people are having issues getting their Wii U to turn on if it's been sitting for longer than 6 months to a year.
Yes.
And so like I have mine plugged in and I turn it on, you know, roughly once a month just to uh, make sure it's still working. But man, turning that on and loading up a game is sad how long it takes. It's sad. You can go make yourself a sandwich, eat the sandwich, wash the dishes, and go to the bathroom before it's done loading a game. That's all I'm saying. Although I do like the Wii U. Shout out. I'm just kind of going through these games. I really don't know what else would make it over, to be honest. Unless you start going outside of Nintendo at this point.
Because I wonder, does Nintendo, is it time to introduce a new IP for Nintendo?
I mean, I think they will on the next console. I think they will on the next console. I don't think they're going to do it at the end of the Switch's life cycle. I think you do it at the beginning. I mean, like look at ARMS.
Yeah,
it did well because the Switch didn't have a lot of games at that point, and people were hungry to play games on the Switch, and so ARMS, a new IP, was, right there. And was what it was. Um,
Yeah, I do wonder because you mentioned the Dreamcast. I'm like, would
mhm.
that be a summer surprise, a summer hit if Dreamcast dropped on NSO?
I
Like,
mean,
and just
that's what.
do it like with 10 games, and they build from there. Because the Dreamcast do have a big library,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, I think I would like to see the Dreamcast, although Nintendo hasn't really updated, or Sega or Nintendo hasn't really updated the Sega portion of Nintendo Switch Online,
Hmm.
really, or at least they haven't been advertising it. And I know Sega probably wants to make money on some of those games, and they know the Dreamcast is really, man, the
I
Dreamcast, dude, the Dreamcast is gonna be is 25 years old this year.
oh wow,
Gross.
I
Oh,
think
gross.
man, I think just with the Dreamcast, if that came to Switch NSO, definitely, and it was still like the $50 um for the price for expansion pass. I think that would bring in more players, and if they just give them the right amount of games to start them off, man, that literally would be a big hit. Because definitely, of course, Nintendo would get coin for that for new subscribers, but Sega probably just going to get some new stuff for it. Like man, hit them with Soul Calibur, Sonic Adventures 1 and 2. Hopefully Power Stones can make it. Um, what else? House of the Dead, some of the collections on there. Um, Retro Fighter 1 and 2. Like man, they could really do a lot. Skies of Arcadia. Skies of Arcadia would be the big drop to counter a lot of games in September. If there's like
Mhm.
not a big role playing game coming out, and it's kind of like, I would say, a little bit tired, not tired, a little bit dead. If they could drop Skies of Arcadia in September, man, that it would be big for RPG gamers.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I really don't care at this point if they look. I mean, I really just want an easy way to access these older games. I don't care if I have to pay for them. I really don't. Right?
Hmm.
Like, I mean, you look at it. You look at a copy of Skies of Arcadia or Skies of Arcadia Legends on eBay, and it's like a billion gajillion dollars. And there's no easy way to play it. Let's see, Skies of Arcadia GameCube. All right, so this version, complete in box, not even it's used. It's kind of, man, this box is in rough shape. The disc has scratches on it. $175.
Oh heck no!
Like, put an HD version on modern consoles, sell it for $40. Look at Tales of Symphonia, right? I mean, do use the right version of the game, I'm gonna
Yeah,
say, but like, it's
because I think the GameCube version of Skies of Arcadia fixed some things.
well, it fixed some things, but it also added another playable character and a whole set of side missions too. Uh, so that's yeah, yeah. Skies of Arcadia Legends is probably the preferred version.
Yeah,
That would be my guess, at least.
because
But
I know Monkey Ball is good and stuff, but I'm like, oh man, I'm like Sega, you have a chance
yeah, but all those
to.
Monkey Ball games are on the Switch already.
I know that, but I'm just that's what I'm saying. Like I know the Monkey Ball games do fine or do well. There's a lot of them with a new one coming out, but Sega could do so much more by bringing their some of these older games. Definitely from GameCube, and Dreamcast. Like Sega is a big factor into it. I know they're having a good relationship with Microsoft, all good and dandy, but I'm like, get into that Nintendo coin that you know that you could get.
Hmm.
Like, because I'm like, as great as I love the Genesis on NSO, if they do Saturn or if they do Dreamcast, like it's going to really affect NSO in a positive light. you
Mhm.
know, and be like, hey, if you guys want to play these, and of course people gonna make fun of it. I could emulate on my PC, and I'm like, no, if you guys want to play it with friends and make it easier and all of this, you got to get a Nintendo Switch and get NSO. It's only
Mhm.
$50. If you already a
Yeah,
member and we still got that 1 month discount, bam, just add to the discount. Then it will come up to $50, and then that's your that's the one time fee, and then following year it'll be another $50, and you can
yeah.
play all you want.
That's the other thing too, right? Is like people who complain about people who complain about NSO being too expensive just need to just shut up. You guys are dumb. But it
Especially,
also comes back. It also comes back to that conversation of like if you can't afford it, you like not that we're talking about emulation here, but like you you're not entitled to play everything that comes out, nor do you have the time or energy to probably play everything, right? Like
mm-hmm,
the hype cycles are just too, I don't know, right? I mean, I think we're at the point now, well, I know we're at the point now where we get so excited for all these things, but we really at the end of the day need to buckle down and just pick and choose what we play. And if it's franchises we love, we stick to those franchises, and maybe if something new or interesting comes around, we end up getting that too, right? Like it's there are just too many games, too many things to love, and it's hard, it's hard for people to do it all. And I've kind of learned that at at various stages of doing this and my life anyway, right? Like I Destiny, for example, is like the thing where I now have every collector's edition, and
mm-hmm.
my final shape one is supposed to be here at the end of March. And I'm looking at that, and I that's it. I'm cutting off my Destiny collection there. You know, I mean, if a book comes out, I'm gonna get the book, like the Grimoire books. I'm gonna get those. But and in terms of collector's editions and paying for the $100 version of the game and getting season passes and skins and stuff, like no, I can't do that anymore. You know,
All right.
uh, and you look at something like, I would say you look at complete experiences, right? You look at like Final Fantasy remaster or remake and rebirth both have collector's edition. One has Cloud, I think, and the new one has Sephiroth, and the third one presumably will have a third character. Uh, Maybe it's Zack and Aerith. That would be my guess, depending on how the story goes in these. Which, by the way, I have some theories on. Every game has a RE, like remake, rebirth, reunion. I have theories on what that third one's going to be called, but uh, anyways, back to my point is like you have to pick and choose, and these games are
Mm-hmm.
so large. I mean, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth is like 100 and something hours long if you want to do everything,
Yep.
and double that if you want to platinum it. So, man, I hate that the video game industry is built on the hype cycle of we have to be excited for the next thing before the current thing is out that we're excited for. And then it ruins our enjoyment of the current thing because we're already trying to be excited for the next thing. It's man,
It's a weird
this
cycle.
yeah, I don't even know how to describe it. So, man, this version of Skies of Arcadia is $230. Oh my
Ooh.
gosh. 204. Man, you might as well just get the Dreamcast version. It's cheaper. It's 130. Anyway, sorry, I'm just looking at these. It's man, Dreamcast is another console I want to collect for at some point. Anyways, sorry. I'm distracted by my physical video game list, which is a topic I want to hit on too at some point. maybe not tonight because this is our third episode tonight, but maybe
Yeah.
the next time we record these, maybe we'll do it at PAX because I plan on buying some physical stuff at PAX. So maybe we'll do it at PAX.
Yes. Let's do it then. Well, everybody, I think we're gonna wrap it up right there because
It is already?
yeah, because I'm
Okay.
like I I still don't know what Nintendo's going to do. This I became worried because of 6 months. I mean, not 6 months, but well, yeah, actually 6 months. Yeah, because after June, like I said, after June, we have nothing. Like we don't know, and we don't know if Nintendo's going to be doing a proper direct after they just did their partners direct. What they're going to bring to the table? Are we still going to get a game every month, or something like?
I think they do some sort of summer thing. I bet if they're gonna do it, it's gonna be probably after Keeley's summer game mess, whatever you want to call it.
Which is surprising because we don't have a Nintendo game for April.
Yeah, but are there any big? Hold on. I
Because
mean,
we got another
we've
code.
already gotten 5 huge games for Switch this year, though.
Yeah,
I mean, we got, let's see, if you
another
include third
code.
parties, if you
We got
include
another
third
code in
party,
January. We
Prince of
got
Persia in January.
uh Donkey Kong versus Mario in February. We're getting Princess Peach this month. Nothing in April. We're getting Paper Mario in May and Dark Moon in June.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. If there's anything interesting coming to Switch in April that might offset that. Let's see. We have Braid Anniversary Edition. Yeah. A new Saga game is coming to Switch in April. Weird. TMNT Tales of Kenzera, that EA original game.
Yeah.
Lunar Lander Beyond from Atari is coming. Ayuden Chronicle 100 Heroes is coming. Oh, that's not coming to Switch though. I thought that was a Switch game. Grounded is coming to Switch in April. I mean, April is still big for Switch. Freedom Planet 2 is coming to Switch. Switch still has a lot in April. Maybe not Nintendo proper, but then May, Endless Ocean Luminous and Paper Mario are coming. So, let's see what July. Anything for July? Nothing yet. It looks like. Yeah, nothing. Yeah. I don't know, man. Switch is there's a lot coming in the first half, but second half is let's see. Hold on. Rumored 2024 Switch games. Let's see what comes up. See if we missed anything. 35 Switch games to look forward to in 2024. No, I don't want that. No, there's not even any like rumor stuff coming up. So I don't know. I think a lot of people are still too focused on the Switch 2 rumors that they're not even trying to pay attention to what's coming in the second half.
Yeah. I forgot we got the Splatoon 3 DLC.
Yeah, but that's coming out soonish, right? Or is it out?
I think it's out already.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's coming out. I don't even know what to tell you is coming after June because there's like nothing. There's
That's
not even any
why
rumors. There's like no rumors.
I think that's why it's going to be interesting to see what they do in June or July for the Nintendo Direct, because that summer Direct is very important.
Yeah. New Switch games in
Okay, so
2024.
Grounded is hitting April 16th. So that's
Yeah.
the big one.
Yeah. Yeah, I just try to look it up again, rumored Switch games, and it's everybody's just talking about Switch 2, which is fine, but you know, it is what it is, man.
Yep, that is true.
I kind of just don't want to talk about the Switch 2 anymore right now. I mean, we will if something important comes up, obviously on Pow Block, but I want to enjoy this seemingly last year of the Switch and see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited to do our retrospective on this console, like we did with the Wii U once the Switch came out. And I
Yes.
still think we should do retrospective type episodes on at least some of the more recent quote unquote retro console, which by the way, that Nintendo commercial that said the 3DS was a retro console, gross. Come on. Did you see that Japanese commercial?
I heard about it, but I haven't seen it yet.
It was what was it? Somebody was playing, like, it was a Japanese commercial, and the kid was playing his Switch, and he was playing some Pokemon game on Switch or something. And the dad is getting like really nostalgic watching his kid play Pokemon on the Switch, like this young kid. And this dad goes to this box of his quote unquote old video games and pulls out a 3DS and starts playing Pokemon. I'm like, oh, come on. Like, you couldn't have at least just pulled out a Game Boy and made us all feel better.
Or at least
a Game Boy Color.
Oh, if it's a Game Boy Color, who that and like the SP with the flip one.
Yeah. Man.
So
good times. My favorite Game Boy still is the Game Boy Pocket, man. Which is like partly why I wanted that analog Pocket that came out a while ago, is because it just reminded me of the Game Boy Pocket, because they had that silver one. They had black, white, and silver at one point, and I have a silver Game Boy Pocket that still works. And I was just like, man, Game Boy Pocket, the Game Boy Pocket with a backlit screen would still be like an amazing retro console. So
I think I love the Game Boy Color, just the purple one, the see-through purple one, because I used to have one of those. Not like, I think that was my favorite. Ready for Game Boy Advance, I just had the purple one. Like, I don't know if there was any kind of designs. I think still the DS Lite, the black one, is probably the sexiest DS one that I enjoy. And then the 3DS one, my Legend of Zelda Gold one I loved, in the Pokemon 2DS, the one that I like too.
Yeah.
So, look, we still got our 25 list Switch games to make. We still got our time capsule for Switch.
You know what we should do? Make a top 25 Switch game list for episode 400, which is in like, it'll probably be like October-ish. What episode? I don't know what episode we're on.
Well, that's the one we're supposed to do, because we're supposed to argue about it.
Yeah. So maybe we'll do that for episode 400, and we won't put Stephanie through a 4-hour episode this time.
Yeah.
Sorry, Steph.
Sorry, Stephanie. We love you. So, but everybody, that's going to be it for Nintendo Expansion Pass. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye. If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dirrig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.